Am I the asshole for taking back my house key from my sister after my niece walked in on me and my GF? 26M. Babysit my 7-year-old niece on weekends. Always from 10 a.m. until 5 or 6, and that's usually when my sister picks her up from my place. Last year before I started babysitting for her, I gave my sister my spare key when I went on a camping trip so she could water my plants and feed my fish. Then I just never got it back, but it wasn't a big deal to me. She's used it a couple times to come into my apartment when she started dropping off my niece so I wouldn't have to get the door for her. The last 2 times I did have a problem with her coming in was when she came to use my Wi-Fi for a class. It wasn't that I had a problem with her using my Wi-Fi, but it was that she didn't tell me, and on top of that she left my window open because it was getting hot for her. There's been some break-ins around the neighborhood and my place could have gotten broken into with her leaving it open like that. I asked for my key back a couple times and she says she will, but then never has the time. On Saturday she was supposed to drop off my niece at 10 a.m. like we always agreed. My girlfriend spent the night at my place and we woke up early around 8-ish. We had time before my niece was supposed to be dropped off, so we took advantage of our free time. My sister didn't bother to tell me she had to go in early, so instead my niece showed up at 9. My sister gave her the key to get inside. My niece went looking for me in my room. I didn't hear her and, yeah. Nothing traumatic, but she definitely knew what we were doing. When my sister came to get her, I took my key back and I was pissed that she dropped her off early with no warning and for giving her the key to let herself in instead of knocking. At least then niece wouldn't have walked in on us. My sister's mad we were doing that, knowing she was gonna drop her off, but also thinks I'm overreacting by taking my key back. She says we never know if my niece will need to let herself in or my sister in case I don't respond in the future or something. But I told her no and she's not getting it back. It's a day now since our argument and she's still pissed off because she complained to our mom about. I don't know, it's such a big deal when it was my key. Am I the asshole? Edit. I kinda have to laugh at the wholesome awards considering what went down. Tears of joy, tears of joy. Not the asshole. Having a key to your place was a privilege, not something she was obligated to have. It's not cool for her to not give you a heads up when she's dropping your niece off when it's at a different time than usual, and there's no reason your niece can't come knock on the door for you to let her in. Not the asshole. You trusted her to do something, she abused it, you take back the permission. Pretty open and shut. Though I am struck by the part where she told you you'll never know if your niece has to let herself in. Why would a 9-year-old need to let herself in? You're either home to let her in, hence why she's there in the first place, or you're not and she shouldn't be there. That's the whole reason she is there, to be watched by you. And seriously, your sister needs to learn to text a heads up. It's a lot easier than that entire conversation you two had. How dare you get busy in your place with your girlfriend on the weekend you apparently give up entirely to babysit her child. She says we never know if my niece will need to let herself in. Well, she will need to let you know now that she doesn't have a key anymore. Unless she's planning on your niece breaking and entering. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, and frankly, I'd expect an apology from sis before I babysat for her again. Not the asshole. Your sister doesn't need access to your property whether you're there or not. At least without the key, there'll be no more embarrassing, for them, moments of seeing things they shouldn't. Lesson learned, no keys for anybody but you and girlfriend face with hand over mouth. Not the asshole. Your house, your private space. She doesn't seem to understand boundaries and ended up exposing her own daughter to a pretty awkward situation. Sis should be happy you're not into some serious kink play that involves lots of visually questionable items like a giant furry suit. I suggest if y'all get bored one day, go to sister's house at 7 a.m. and barge into her house. It's plain old rude. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It sounds like your sister has been taking advantage of having free access to your home. The fact that she's been reluctant to turn over the key in the past makes me wonder if she's the type to make a copy for, just in case. It wouldn't be a bad idea to change the locks. If you aren't able to, then adding a chain to the door to prevent any more surprises. Not the asshole. No one is entitled to a key to your residence except you. Your sister had a privilege that was revoked when she used it inappropriately. Not the asshole. Spare keys come with unspoken conditions. It sounds like you have had previously discussed accessing your place. It's slightly irresponsible for her to not check with you about early drop-off first. What if you were out? She also has no right being ticked about what was going on before 10 o'clock. Your house, your rules. I suggest getting an outdoor lockbox. If she or someone needs to access your place, they can text you for the code to get the key. Then change the code. Not the asshole. It is your key. If she insists on having it, then she needs to respect you. She shouldn't have stopped your niece off early without confirming with you. What if you had been out getting breakfast or running an errand quickly before the normal drop-off time? Your niece would have been along in your apartment for an hour. Not the asshole. My sister's mad we were doing that knowing she was gonna drop her off. As sister knows full well, you had every reason to expect her at 10, not 9. And of course not just waltzing right in after letting herself in. And of course you're free to do what you want in the privacy of your own home. Saturdays aren't no sex days because niece exists. Your sister's got nowhere to complain about anything in this entire situation. Not the asshole. It's your house. You made it clear why she has the key, which had nothing to do with her kid. To the best of your knowledge, no one but your girlfriend was there at the time you commenced extra joy. The kicker is you clearly revoked her right to the key before this went down. Your sister is not entitled to just dump her kid there without your knowledge or consent. That said, I'd change the locks on all exterior doors as a precaution. Not the asshole. Why does she want her daughter to let herself in a situation where you aren't responding? What if she has the girl let herself into an entirely empty apartment? Or, God forbid, you are being robbed or something. The girl is 7, she should at least wait to get confirmation that you have her. Not the asshole. Your sister has been taking advantage of you. Not the asshole. You are way too nice, dude. If I was giving regular weekend babysitting and this was how the mother treated me. Not only that but bitching to my mother about it. Not the asshole. Your sister is entitled. You should make her call when she's on her way to drop off your niece every time as well. Not the asshole. It's an invasion of your privacy if they show up, let alone let themselves in, unannounced. Your sis must teach her kids to respect other people's privacy, and she herself should check her attitude, actions. Take your key back or install extra locks that will keep him out. Not the asshole. Your niece was due at 10 a.m. If you and your girlfriend wanted to have wild sex in lime jello with garden gnomes until 9:59, it is less than none of your sister's business. You are doing her a favor by watching her child, and her thanks is to reprimand you for what you do when you're in your own home and selfishly demand unfettered access to your private space forever. No. Just no no no. Not the asshole. If your sister is like this, you 100% should have taken the key back. Who knows what would happen if she has access to your place. Not the asshole. I'd honestly have just changed the locks. She may have made spares. Who gives a 7-year-old the key anyways? What if you were running errands at 9 a.m. as you'd have an hour before you needed to be home? She'd just leave her there. Totally irresponsible, but you should have took your key a long time ago. Not the asshole. She doesn't get to be upset that adults do adult things when they are home alone or when appropriate. She didn't tell you that she was going to drop your niece off earlier. What if you weren't home? Should claim you abandoned her daughter. Not the asshole. NTA. I have a key to my friend's house. This chick has been my rock for over a decade and I still text her to notify her, even when she's already gave permission. Because I'm not an entitled turd. She's even extended an invite to an open door policy. I still ask. Because I'm not an entitled turd. Your sister might be one though. Why would your niece need to let herself into a house she doesn't live in? NTA. I would change the lock to just in case she made a copy. So what? You're not allowed to have sex within 2 hours of watching your niece. A whole day? A week? Maybe you should just commit to a life of celibacy just in case your niece ever gets dropped off again. Your sister needs an attitude readjustment. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You did the only sane thing. Your sister is getting too used to using you. Stop babysitting. At least for a while. Let her have to figure out some other way to have her kid looked after. Maybe then she will appreciate the privileged you grant her by watching her child for her. She sounds entitled. Not the asshole. I have a key to my dad's home and closest sister's home for emergencies. I still knock on the door and wait for them to open it or for them to call out come in. I respected the key as a privilege not a right, and they're all entitled to their privacy. Not the asshole. Your sister is wrong. And quite ballsy, considering she's getting full weekends of babysitting out of you. When does she spend time with her own kid, again? Not the asshole. But I am wondering, will you still continue to watch your niece after this incident, or have you stopped doing that? Nope, and that's the end of babysitting as well. Your sister is entitled as fuck trying to tell you what you can or can't do in your house for whatever reason. And shushes get a gold medal for Parent of the Year just dropping her kid off and leaving without making sure she was safe inside with someone. You just so happen to be doing the naked tango, but what if you were at the grocery store? Out running? In the damn not the asshole. Not the asshole. Plenty of people have said exactly what I would, but I just need to revisit this. My sister's mad we were doing that knowing she was gonna drop her off, but also thinks I'm overreacting by taking my key back. The balls to say, okay, since you're babysitting my kid, probably for free, don't you dare have sex in your own house 1 or 2 hours beforehand. What the fuck? Nope, sorry, I'd never babysit again, and if she asks why, just say you're too busy getting busy. The audacity. Not the asshole, but save yourself some grief and get the locks changed. Change your locks. Not the asshole. This is not an overreaction to a one-time situation, and it's pretty manipulative of her to act like this is about the one time she had to be at work early. You took her key back because of a whole pattern of disrespecting your space and proving she couldn't be trusted with the key. Not the asshole, but I would be cutting back on the babysitting. Not the asshole. This is just complete negligence, ignorance on your sister's part. My sister and brother-in-law both have given me the code to get into their house while also telling me it's okay to go in without letting them know, and I still call them out of courtesy. That's just dropping by to catch up or hang out with my nieces and nephews, not to drop my damn kid off. A phone call or text takes 10 seconds, it's really not that difficult. If she is so upset in having to give your key back, I have to wonder if she was doing something in your home that you were not aware of. Not the asshole. It's your house. You get to decide who has a key. Not the asshole, you have repeatedly asked for your key back. Now you have it. Not the asshole. Your sister grew too comfortable with being able to drop off your niece. She was discourteous to not call you to let you know she would bring your niece over early. You were right to revoke her privilege of having the key. It's her own fault that this happened. Not the asshole. Distrust people who don't respect your boundaries. Red flag. Not the asshole, you are a grown man with your own place and nice enough to watch your niece. You're obviously a great brother and uncle. What you do in the privacy of your own home is your business. You were right to take back the key because your sister is overstepping her bounds in a major way. Not the asshole. She abused the privilege of having a key, she doesn't get a key. That's pretty simple stuff. Not the asshole. Dropping off her daughter at your place and not wait to see if you are at home is a big no. What if you aren't at home at that time, especially if she drops her off earlier than agreed? Then the kid is alone in your place and maybe she wanders back out. You come home and think nothing of it, as she isn't supposed to be there until later. Shit ton can happen in minutes. Imagine hours of the kid being missing. Your sister is a big A for doing that. Not the asshole, she is annoyed you were having sex in your home an hour before they were supposed to be there. So, you are not allowed to have sex in your own home. Guess you cannot watch your niece at all then. Looks like your sister has broken all boundaries and needs a sit-down talking to reaffirm them. You are doing her a massive favor, yet she is acting like she is doing one for you. So not the asshole. If your sister is mad about you taking back your keys, she can stay mad. But she needs to get over it or she can find another free babysitter. Not the asshole. She said 10, and showed up at 9, without warning. Sister needs to learn boundaries. Not the asshole, your sister is out of her mind. She's lucky out babysit every weekend. Then she goes and gets mom involved. Yeah, she is an ass. Your niece should never have been given your key. Sister should have called and let you know she was dropping niece off early. On top of that, you were having sex with girlfriend and niece walks in. Yeah, that's great. So many things could have happened. As others have stated, what if you ran quick errand or spent the night at girlfriend house? Ugh, then she just cows over whenever because she has a key. Entitled much?